Coming to you live from his padded cell high atop Bethel Church, the most heralded, the most despised talk show in all of human history. This is the talk show hell hates. This is Pastor Mike Online.
And here we are coming to you from our top secret compound here at Area 52. This is the talk show Hell Hates. This is Pastor Mike, and I am online, and I am live with you today, still on day 33 without the coronavirus. I don't have it. I don't know anybody that does. Last check that I heard, the state of Missouri has 6 or 7. There was a new case reported today in the St. Louis area. That doesn't necessarily affect most of us down here. My wife and I normally, on Sweetie Pie Day, which is every Friday, we will go north toward southern St. Louis County, do a little shopping, Sam's, Costco. We like to go there because of this. The free samples at Costco, much better than at Sam's. I'm telling you. So we always go up there and fill up. And so last Friday we didn't. We went south because I told her, I said, probably a better, it's less risky to move away from a large population center than it is to go toward a large population center. So that's what we did. And we had a good day still. And again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a virologist. And there's just some things I don't get. But more people have died from the flu. More people have died from the cold. More people have died from cancer in the last 3 months. More people, there's more more people die from drunk drivers in the last 3 months. So again, there's some things I don't understand. There's some things, however, that grab my attention. Especially when it comes to something that I know is related to the Bible. Now, I tweeted earlier today a sort of a mysterious, enigmatic tweet. What I said was virus 33. And people are, question marks, can you explain this? Yes, I'm going to. I was already working on this particular number in advance of the Red River Prophecy Conference, which has been canceled. Well, let me say it differently. It has been reorganized because of the it's not really a mandate. It was the advice of the president that they limit, for the next 15 days, limit gatherings to 10 or less. The board of the Red River Prophecy Conference decided that it would be prudent. They didn't want to do this because I told them, I said, guys, I'll be up there no matter what. Even if they cancel all the airplanes, I'll drive up there. And, they appreciated that commitment. But, it would get into a liability issue. If they gathered everybody there against the advice of people who seem to know more than the rest of us do about it, then it opens up maybe a liability issue if someone ends up dying. You have to, in this world, you have to think that way. Plus the fact, I was reminded today that even if we had gone up there, we wouldn't have anything to eat. Because now all the restaurants are closing their facilities except to take out orders or drive-through. So, it just was everything working against us. But I was already working on this topic, and I had picked this topic, I think back in December. They said, we need topics so we can print in our flyer. And I went, okay, Satan's footprint. What does that mean? I'll figure it out. And I sort of had, some of this in mind. But I thought maybe I'll do something like that. And so anyway, I was working on this presentation for the Red River Prophecy Conference. By the way, let me finish what we're talking about that. They are going to Skype. They're going to go to a streaming-only format this year. So the various speakers, Chris Pinto, myself, Kent Hovind, will be streaming in their messages, their lectures, or whatever. And then the Red River Conference will stream those out. They stream the conference anyway, sort of like we do. And so anyway, that's how they're going to do it this year. Go to Titus213hope.com, I believe. And I asked them, I said, the schedule's still the same? Yeah, the schedule's still the same. So they'll be doing it that way. I am still not sure if I'm going to go up to Pastor Cooley's yet or not. I'm sort of working some things out with that. We'll see how that goes. But I've already had to cancel the flights. So anyway, but I was working on some numbers that appear in things in this world. I called it Satan's footprints for a reason. You can tell that a deer, in fact, when you go out before deer season looking for a good place to hunt, you look for signs. You look for footprints, hoof prints in the ground, fresh ones. You look for scrapes and rubs because bucks that time of year, they're rubbing, making their horns real shiny for the females because they're in rut. That's what you look for. Whatever you're hunting, you look for signs of that. You can tell that a turkey's been walking a certain place. You can tell deer, you can tell raccoons, you can tell whatever has been through a certain area because they will leave signs. They will leave tracks. Now, let me give you a verse. Ephesians 2 tells us some conspiracy theories are just impossible to believe in because some of them are so sophisticated, like the flat earth one. It is impossible for 6 million people to be covering up their knowledge of the real shape of the earth, convincing everybody that the earth is really round when they all know they're all in on it. All airplane pilots are in on it. All the meteorologists are in on it. NASA, they all work for NASA. Every one of them. See, that doesn't work. It's not logical that all of those people are in on it except us. Except the people that figured it out. Yeah, I figured it out. They're not getting I'm no fool. Yeah. So some conspiracy theories are just, they don't work. They don't make sense. But then you add a higher element to it. If you don't think human agents are capable of pulling something off, then what about spirits? Spirits can get in places that nobody else can. Spirits can say things to somebody that they would never know that it was said to them from an outside source. It happens all the time. We call it thinking, but the truth of it is we know that we get tempted to sin by the devil or devils who use enticements, who use suggestions to bring something our way, to entice us, to lure us in. We know that happens. What about ideas? What about creativity? What about writing lyrics to a song? Do you think the song Hotel California was just written by a genius? Because it has some really evil references to it. What about Stairway to Heaven? What about Revolution Number 9? What about My Boyfriend's an Alien? Katy Perry song. Or I Kissed a Girl, Katy Perry song. Do you think that she just wrote that out? No. These get inspired. Just as God inspired the writers of the Bible, just as God inspires us and leads us through his Holy Spirit, there is a spirit that is at work with lost people in this world. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 2 tells us that at one time we all walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. So when you think then that people could be led by spirits to do who are working in coordination, let's say with a much grander spirit, Lucifer, when you think of it that way, then you think, well, okay, maybe so. You know, I don't know that the Illuminati called all these people and said, now, in your reporting on this coronavirus, we want you to use the number 33 in there somewhere. Click. Who is that on the phone? I can't tell or I'll have to kill you. That didn't happen. But there is a spirit that is working in the children of disobedience in this world. And when that spirit is around, it will leave its, you can tell a snake has gone through the sand. Because it leaves a little sidewinding path. A crooked path is what it leaves. So dragons leave their footprints behind. There's actually several places around the world. Gleam Texas was one of them, where there are dinosaur footprints embedded into the bedrock, crisscrossing the path of a human footprint. Imagine that. They crossed each other. They crossed paths. Not kidding you. It's in a creek bed down in Texas. So you can tell that a man was there and a dinosaur was there the same day. They were just walking past, okay? So they leave their footprints wherever they have been. And if you know, I'm not asking you, I would never ask you to go study the occult. Because I don't think that's for everybody. Because it can mess with your head. It really can. Some of you, it's too late. But it can mess with you. And if you don't have some really good spiritual armor up, you'll get taken in. I've known people that it's done it to. Okay? So I'm not telling you to go study the occult. Others have. And when you study the scriptures, you know that God uses numbers. You know he does. I'll give you an example. A book called Numbers. In that particular book, there's a story, Numbers, where God's people murmured against God. They complained, because Jews do that a lot. And they complained against God, and God sent fiery serpents among them, and it bit them, and people started dying everywhere. It's an interesting story pertaining to the time we're in now. Let me go ahead and put this on the screen for you. I looked up the word virus. Actually, somebody else did. And I checked on it to make sure. The word virus is a Latin word, and it means poisonous substance, poison. Now, I was talking about this last Tuesday, was that a virus basically is a encapsulated shell filled with RNA or DNA. RNA is single-strand, DNA is double-stranded. And that RNA just sits in that little capsule until it's injected into a cell. Once it's in the cell, that's where it starts replicating itself. That's where it starts, in some cases, rewriting the host DNA. The host is you. And the RNA then attaches itself and makes a copy of itself and embeds it into your DNA, which is why with some viruses, you never get rid of them. Herpes is one of them. Once you get it, you've got it because it makes a permanent alteration to your DNA. Bum, bum, bum. Okay? So that's something to think about. So think of what the devil did in Genesis 3. Think of what he said. We know that he didn't mate with Eve like everybody says he did. Well, that's what the Hebrew says. You don't know Hebrew from Greek. So how do you know that's what the Hebrew says? We know that he didn't do that. But what we know the serpent did was speak to her. And that's poison enough because it worked. So he infiltrated her mind with his words, the 33rd of which was the word eyes. If you count, starting with, yea, hath God said, and then that's what Satan said, and then you go to, ye shall not surely die, for God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. Eyes is the 33rd word of what he said there. There's 46 total. That's a DNA number for you. 46 chromosomes. So we know that's what he did. He spoke poison to her. And whether the poison is injected by a virus into the cell or the poison goes into the ears or the eyes to the mind of man, it goes to the heart of man. And poison has a way of killing people, whether it's just words or some disease. But that's the word. That the word means poisonous substance from virus, poison, sap of plant, slimy liquid, a potent juice. Okay? Poison. It's where we get the word poison from. So that makes sense to me. That ideas going out, subtle ideas. The subtler, the better. Think of this illustration. Jesus said, I am the door to the sheepfold. Now think of the sheepfold as your mind. It's where all your little lambs are kept. And the doorway to the mind is the eyes, the ears, the nose, the taste, the touch. Those are the doorways to the mind. When Jesus comes to us, how does he come to us? Secretly, sliding on the floor so you don't know it's him? Or does he come and knock on the door? Who is it? It's Jesus. Come on in. Jesus said, behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man will open the door, I will come in into him and sup with him and he with me. That's how Jesus introduces himself to a person and fellowships with them. Straight on. Right through the doorway. And he said, anything comes through the doorway, that's good. But he said, a thief never comes in through the front door. A thief always comes in some other way, subliminally, subconsciously, without you knowing about it. See, if someone's standing at the door and you go, "Who is it?" Jehovah's Witness. "Nobody's home." Okay, we'll come back. See, you don't let them in. But if they really want to get in, they come in through the sides, through the door, through the windows, around the back. Then they're in and you didn't know they got there. Anybody who does mentalist tricks, they can practically make anybody choose any card out of a deck they want. It's an easy trick. I saw David Blaine do this on a TV show. And he flipped a deck of cards. And he said, I'm going to flip through it like that. And he said, just pick one that you see out of there. So I'm going, oh, he's not going to get me on this. So he flipped through the decks and I went, 7 of hearts. Sure enough, that was the card. And I'm going to watch it again because I taped it and I rewound it, watched it again. 7 of hearts. And I'm going, how did he do that? Then I realized he slipped into that deck 2 7 of hearts back to back so that all of them were blurred except the 7 of hearts. That was the one he forced you to pick it, but you didn't know it. That's coming in some other way. That's the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. Comic books, stories, movies, TV shows, commercials, news items, motion pictures, cartoons, you name it. Music. We're flooded with subliminal ideas. The devil never just stands up and says, I am Beelzebub. I am Belial. And I would like to bring everybody under world domination. We, of course, want to doom you to the lake of fire for all of eternity. By the way, here is my right-hand man. We call him Antichrist, or you can just say the beast. Here's his number, 666. Stick that in your right hand or forehead, and we got you. Never does that. He always comes in some other way, subliminally, subconsciously. So it's the reason why I put up this website, 666alert.net. 666alert.net. I couldn't get .com. Somebody already got that one. How in the world did they figure that out? Anyway, 666alert.net. I got hundreds of examples of the number 6 or hexagons in packaging, marketing, you name it. The triple hexagon really is 3 6s. And it's everywhere. Everywhere. So, and I find new ones every week. My wife says, didn't you just do that last week? I said, honey, it's a brand new thing. It's something new every week. It's been going on for a couple years now. And the only reason I can think of is it is making people subconsciously aware of this particular symbol or this particular number. Hence what I'm going to show you today. Okay? But understand that if you just take this and think that, well, somebody in the Illuminati called and we have to use this number 33 in the headline. That isn't, I don't believe so. But if you think then that spirits are at work moving the hearts of very, very lost people, and you don't have to be in a Masonic Lodge or a card-carrying member of the Illuminati in order to be in on this. You don't even have to believe in Satan. All you have to do is not trust Jesus as your Savior. That's the only qualification. And when you meet that criteria, you're going to be used of the devil. It's just the way things are. Holy Spirit leads us through the Word of God. The devil leads everybody else through whatever means he uses. So let's deal with this number 33 for a minute. Let me kind of illustrate what it is in the scriptures. If we were to go to, well, we already did, Genesis chapter 3. Let me flop that up on the screen there for you. Genesis chapter 3. Let's see, that's Exodus 1, 2, 3, right there. And it starts out, yea, hath God said, that's 4 words, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. And then he says, ye shall not surely die. And then he says, for God doth know in the day that you eat thereof, then your eyes. 33rd word, he says, is the word eyes here, shall be opened. And you shall be as gods knowing good and evil. Now, think of the opposite here. There is an occult awakening and God's awakening. The occult awakening actually is sleep. God's awakening is you're awake. So when the devil said your eyes shall be open, he didn't really mean that. He meant it in an opposite sort of way. I'm going to close your eyes and blind you, because that's what the God of this world has done with the minds of men. He's blinded them. When she ate of that fruit, yeah, she was aware she was naked, but she was a long way away from being as a god. So he lied to her, and she believed it. So think of this verse, Jeremiah 33:3. Call unto me, and I will answer thee, and show thee great and mighty things which thou knowest not. See, that makes sense, doesn't it? It's a different form of knowledge, a different form of awakening. The devil was described in Ezekiel as being wiser than Daniel, but his wisdom was corrupted by way of his iniquity, his pride. So he is God's wisdom personified but corrupted. He'll always be the exact opposite of everything that God is, even though he said, I will be like the Most High. He's going to appear to be God, the Most High God, but he's not that. He's going to be the exact. And if you know God, then you look at the devil and you're going, you're the exact opposite of God. He's up there. You're down here. I'm not falling for that. So, it just kind of makes sense. The number 33, who was it that was 33? That created everything? Jesus Christ. Who wants to pretend that he's Jesus Christ, so that he is God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Antichrist, the opposite of Christ. So the number 33 could reference Christ, his act of creation, his life. So he's born. Herod, the wise men, and they come and they said, where's he born King of the Jews? So they inquire of the book of Micah, which is the 33rd book of the Bible. And that's where the wise men found it. See, you get it? Wise men found it in the 33rd book. Bethlehem Ephratah, though thou be little among the thousands of Judah, yet shall he come forth of thee that whose goings forth have been old from everlasting. I think I got most of that right. But it's Christ. Okay? 33rd book of the Bible. But go to Micah. Look in chapter 2, verse 11. Let me pull that up here. Micah chapter 2. I'm being nice to you. I'm putting all the verses on the screen so you can follow along with me. Micah chapter 2. Look at verse 11. If a man walking in the spirit and falsehood do lie, saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine and strong drink. If a man walking in the spirit and falsehood do lie, saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine and strong drink, he shall even be the prophet of this people. Verse 11, the number 11 is number for confusion. So wine is strong drink. Does that enlighten you in vino veritas, or does it make you, stupid? Okay? It's a reason why they don't encourage people to drink heavily, then drive or operate heavy equipment, because you can't do it. So it's the opposite of wisdom. It's the opposite of knowledge. It's the opposite of understanding, which are part of the seven spirits of God. Let's see here. Where else can we go? That verse on the screen, Deuteronomy 32:33, illustrates the difference between our God and their God. Let me put Deuteronomy up on the screen. Deuteronomy 32, right there. We'll go down here, and it says, for their rock is not as our rock, even our enemies themselves being judges. Notice their rock is a little r, our rock is a big R. For their vine, Jesus is the vine, the true vine, he said in John 15. But their vine is the vine of Sodom and of the fields of Gomorrah. Their grapes are grapes of gall. Their clusters are bitter. Instead of the grapes being sweet, the grapes are bitter, like gall or wormwood. Or the name now for it is absinthe. And it's very bitter drink, but people will use absinthe or wormwood as a hallucinogen, something where they'll see things that aren't really there, or maybe are really there. And then it says in verse 33, their wine, rather than their wine being the new wine of the Holy Spirit, their wine is the poison of dragons, the cruel venom of asps. And where does that venom come from? Their mouth, just like words do. So that's essentially the same as a virus. A virus contains poison RNA, poison words that are meant to corrupt the host's DNA. And in some cases, it'll just kill you. Think of, if we go back to Genesis 3 and look at the meaning of the number 3, if we break 3 down, we know what 11 is. 11 is confusion. Go to the Tower of Babel for that. That's Genesis 11. And God confused their languages. So they all spoke in tongues, right? And was that a blessing of God or what? When God confused everybody's languages, and now they're speaking and they don't know what they're saying. Was that God going, oh, bless you, my children. I'm so happy that you're building this tower that reaches into heaven. Not! That's not what he said. He said, I got to put a stop to this. They imagine this stuff. Now I got to come down and confuse their languages. It was a curse, not a blessing. How would you like to have a Bible written in unknown tongues? Shambhala Toyota, Tito, Toyota, Toyota-thon. I mean, how would you like to have that Bible? Where would you find comfort? Where would you find grace? How would you know how to be saved? How would you know who God is? If your Bible was written in unknown languages that nobody could read, nobody knows what that means. But that's from God. I don't believe it. I would rather have the words easy to understand than the words that cannot be understood. Okay? So there's the difference between what's good for you and what's poison. What's in it? We can't tell you. Then I don't want it. Okay? Let's see here. The number 3. So, verse 6, when the woman saw the tree was good for food, lust of the eyes. When it was pleasant to the eyes, lust of the eyes. Tree desire to make one wise, pride of life. She took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. Look what God said in verse 11. Who told thee that thou wast naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I have commanded thou shouldest not eat? Let's see here. Those words, 22 words there. Interesting. 22 plus 11 is 33. How did you find out you were naked? Did you do what I told you not to do? Okay, see it? So number 3. So Adam, Cain, and Abel. Well, Cain killed Abel. So Adam's third son, Seth, passed his genes down. Seth passed them down to Noah. Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, which is where we come from. See, I'm tracing sin. I'm tracing the lineage of sin here. So Adam passed it down to Seth. Seth handed it down to his generations to Noah, who had 3 sons, and all 3 of his sons were sinners. So all 3 races of man come from the 3 sons of Noah. So now everybody's a sinner. It gets down to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And all of Jacob's children are sinners. The third son of Jacob was Levi. Third book of the Bible is named after Levi. It's Leviticus. Has 27 chapters in it. Deals with the price of sin. You following me? So we jump forward ahead to Jesus, who, when he's age 30, begins his ministry. At 33, he's sold for 30 pieces of silver. And he's hanging there on a cross with how many other crosses? 2. Why? Because he was numbered, that number 3, he was numbered with the transgressors. So 3 in this case, you think, well, I thought 3 was for the Godhead. Yes. But what's the opposite of the Godhead? Satan, or the dragon, the beast, the false prophet. Paul warned us about another Jesus, another spirit, and another gospel. 3. Okay? See, kind of getting where I'm going with this. Virus 33. So now let me show you the sort of the setup on this. This comic book, Marvel comic, I never did like Stan Lee. He was going to vote for Hillary. Not kidding you. Anyway, Son of Satan comes out. Turns out, and he literally is. During the daytime, he is a man of God. He's a minister. But at night, he turns into the Dark Lord's son. Notice what he's carrying in his right hand. A trident. 1, 2, 3. Got a pentagram on his chest. His name is Damien Hellstrom. And he was born February the 2nd, which is Groundhog's Day. And it's also the 33rd day of the year. Now, whoever wrote this, I don't know if this is a Kirby comic. I don't know if Jack Kirby came up with this or Stan Lee came up with it or whoever wrote it knew something. They knew something. The phrase, the beast, this phrase right here, the beast, is mentioned 33 times in the New Testament, the King James Bible. I'll show it to you. Type in the beast. Says 54 times. Unclick the Old Testament. 33 times exactly. Bum, bum, bum. And look what the first occurrence is. He shook off the beast into the fire. And what was it? Is when Paul was throwing sticks on the fire and a snake, a serpent, jumped out of the fire, latched onto his hand, bit him, and Paul shook the beast off into the fire, and the natives were waiting for him to die. And when he didn't, they're going, oh, you're a god. No, but I know who is. And he used that to testify to him. But this is the 33rd occurrence of it. The devil that deceived them was cast in the lake of fire where the beast and the false prophet are. That's the beast being shook into the fire. Yeah. He's the child of, see this child of the devil here? That's the son of Satan. But it revolves around that number 33. So think of who was 33. He took, blotting out, Colossians 2 says he blotted out the handwriting of ordinances that was against us, meaning the commandments, the law, which was contrary to us, and took it out of the way, nailing it to his cross. And having spoiled principalities and powers, he made a shoe of them openly, triumphing over them in it. So the Bible says he became sin for us who knew no sin. He became sin, our sin. Lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, pride of life. That's why he's 33 in the midst of 3 crosses, sold for 30 pieces of silver, raised again 3 days later. Okay? He's king of the Jews 33 years. Where is he that is born king of the Jews? What did they write on his headstone? Or not his headstone, the plaque above his head on the cross. This is Jesus of Nazareth, the King of the Jews. Groundhog Day. The movie Groundhog Day features Bill Murray. By the way, he's standing there with Channel 33 News. Again, I don't think, who directed this movie? I can't remember his name. But anyway, he didn't get a call from the Illuminati going, I hear you're making a movie. Yeah. Put the number 33 in it. Who was that? I have no idea, but I'm supposed to write this in the script somehow. No. I think it's by inspiration. Because what happens is Bill Murray's reliving his life all over again. On the same day. On what day? 33rd day of the year. He's reincarnating. And I read an article about it, and they can't remember who it was that directed this film. But anyway, he also wrote the script, and they asked him, they said, how many years actually did he live the same day over again? And they had figured up something like, 500-600 years he'd have to be. Because he mastered the piano. He knew everything about everybody that had happened. Everything. He's a god. And he says to Annie McDowell, the girl that he wants to get in bed with at the end of the day, that he keeps trying on the 33rd day of the year, he keeps telling her, I'm a god. You're a god? No, I'm not the god. I'm a god. What did the devil promise Eve? Eyes shall be open, and you shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. It's based on a cross-quarter day called Imbolc, and it has to do with like a child being conceived in the womb, is what it means, in the belly, in the womb. So, what movie could you pre-order on February the 2nd, 2016? What movie came available for pre-order, or no, it was released February the 2nd, 2016. What movie was released February the 2nd, 2016 on iTunes? Guess what movie? The 33. And it's about who? A true story of the 33 miners who go down into a pit, are trapped there, imprisoned for 69 days, and then they are saved by the Phoenix. They are the Phoenix. The Phoenix goes down into the fire, burns to ashes, and then is resurrected again. Out of his own flames, his new resurrection body comes out. So every one of these 33 miners are rescued out of this by the Phoenix capsule. They're all wearing these upside-down pentagrams, which is a falling star on their shirt. Gracias, Señor. Thank you, God. Or thank you, Lord, is what it means. Okay? And again, no Illuminati nowhere made that event happen. No, that never occurred. As far as a conspiracy of men making it happen that way. In other words, there wasn't like 38 men who were supposed to go down, but they cut them off at 33. We can only allow 33 down today. How come? I'm supposed to go to work, senor. Sorry, we can only allow 33. That didn't happen that way. That's just how many was down there when it happened. I mean, I remember watching them come out. I'm elated like everybody else, but I'm going, wait a minute, that's called the Phoenix. Okay? So, spirits at work. Because what does this remind you of? Something being down in a pit and then being let out. Revelation 9, Revelation 13, Revelation 17, the beast that thou sawest is in the bottomless pit. He shall ascend up. Okay? That's what that's to put you in mind of. Very subtle, but it's there, especially with the number 33. Phoenix, Arizona is on the 33rd parallel, and it was named after the bird. Phoenix, Arizona also is where the aliens showed themselves to everybody. I mean, it wasn't one of these, I see a flying saucer, and it was gone. No, this thing hung around. About 10,000 people saw it, including the governor of Arizona saw it. Okay? And Kundalini, it's about a beast wrapped around your spine, which there are 33 of them, so that he can bite you on your I was going to say pituitary gland, but bite you on your pineal gland and awaken you. But that's not really what happens when your pineal gland's activated. When your pineal gland's activated, you go to sleep. And that's their form of awakening. He has to pass through the 7 chakras, by the way. 7 energy vortexes like whirlwinds. 7 gods, 7 spirits, 7 devils. Same way with Kabbalah, the Sephiroth, having 7 levels on it. Going from the bottom to the top. I will ascend into heaven, Satan says. So you have the number 33 emblazoned above the double eagle. Notice you know what the Spanish word for crown is? Corona. Crown 33. Virus 33. This is the Mother Lodge of Freemasonry in Washington, D.C. There are 33 pillars here. This is the chair of the worshipful master. It's 33 feet tall. 33 degrees in the southern Scottish Rite, southern jurisdiction. 33 degrees, which is the melting point. 32 degrees, water's frozen. But there's a difference between the anybody can be a 32nd degree Mason. Anybody can. But you have to be invited to become a 33rd. And it's not because they finally tell you all the secrets there, because they don't. You might know a little bit more than you did when you were 32 degree, but you don't know all the secrets. They'd never tell anybody that. You can read morals and dogma backwards, forwards, upside down and never find the real meaning of it. So think of, I don't know who invented the Fahrenheit. Well, Fahrenheit did. That was his name. But why he chose 32 to be the freezing point of water and 33 to be its melting point, because it's a transformation from solid to liquid. 1 degree difference. 33 is a third. And that is exactly how many angels are cast out of heaven. 33.33333%. So there's the number. Remember, here's the corona. And so what does this represent? It represents the poison of the serpent's mouth. The words represents a virus. The Hindus, 330 million gods that they worship. Guess what they are? The 33% of the angels that fall out of heaven. You didn't think they just picked that number up out of the blue, do you? Did the Illuminati call the Hindu people and say, yeah, there has to be, you've only got 100 million gods. You need 330 million. Click. No. They've been worshiping 330 million gods for 1,000 years or better. Who told them that? Who put that into their mindset? Their chakra? Who embedded that into their spirit, their soul? Devils did. So now we have a story in the Bible. Remember who died when he was 33? Christ. What did he do in that death? He made a show of his enemies openly, getting victory over them on the cross. So you have in Joshua 12, the telling of Moses killing 2 kings. They were both giants, Og and Sihon. Both of them were giants. So Moses kills 2 of them, Sihon, the king of the Amorites, and Og, king of Bashan, whose bedstead was, 9 cubits made of iron, 6 cubits wide. He wasn't just tall and skinny. He was tall and beefy. So Moses kills 2 of them on this side of Jordan. Joshua goes over and lists everyone and numbers them. He killed 31 of them. That's 33 total. Why? So that God's people can inherit the promised land. Do you get that now? You see, the war that they had here in the promised land is like the war they're going to have in heaven. And it's going to kick 33% of the angels out. Joshua and Moses killed 33 kings. It's a foreshadow, isn't it? Isn't that beautiful? Somebody just get a little, you need a little happy noise. Because you can't sit in McDonald's anymore for a while. Now, I am going to say this. The thing about the virus doesn't make, again, there's worse viruses out there, worse pandemics. And we never acted this way to any of them. Even when Obama let, 10,000 people die before he ever did anything? And now all of a sudden we've got maybe 50 people die in a whole country, and we're closing everything down. They said this, St. Louis News, local news Sunday morning, and it made me angry. Somebody from the Department of Emergency Services, some woman comes out and says 40% of the St. Louis area people are going to get this virus and 10,000 of them are going to die. And I went, how do you know that? Because most of the people that get it get sick, and that's it. It's only the weak and the elderly who die. And of course, the Chinese doctor that mysteriously died because he released it or something. I don't know about that. They said he caught it and it killed him. Or he, shot in the head or whatever. I don't know what came first, him catching the disease or him getting, anyway, I don't know. But he's dead. But I thought, that's irresponsible to scare people into thinking that there's going to be dead bodies laying all in the streets with flies all over them and nobody can pick them up because everybody's dying. They make this sound like Armageddon. They make it sound like Armageddon. Remember that I said that. The apocalypse. Okay? But see, this 33 represents the evil angels that are in our mansion. They're in our mansion. And we want them out so we can go there. But that's what they represent, the fallen ones. Look at the symbol. You have the double eagle with the corona. And I counted the stars. No, there's not 33. There's 32 of them. He's the 33rd one. He's the king over them all. He's got his wings over them all. And they're stars, so we know that it points to Revelation 12. We know that it does. These are the 1/3 of the angels that fall, and this is their king, their corona. And his number's 33. Ordo ab chaos. Order comes out of chaos, or chaos is a Greek word for the bottomless pit. So we have Ben-Hadad, son of Hadad, the king of Syria, gathered all his host together, and there were 32 kings with him. See it? Right there in that symbol. The 32 stars are the 32 kings. The one with the corona on his head is Ben-Hadad. And what this is, it's a foreshadowing, 1 Kings 20, because they go fight God. This is where we get the song, oh, the God on the mountain is the God of the valley. That's where we get that song from. And because they go to war against Israel on a hill. Think Calvary. And the one who was 33 going to war against his enemies. Where? On Mount Calvary. So they fight the Israelites on a mountain, on a hill, and they get their tails kicked. So Ben-Hadad and the 32 kings go back and they get drunk. And they said, which is Syrian for, yeah, their gods are the gods of the mountains, but yeah, how about the being gods of the valleys? We'll get them in the valleys. So they went to war with them again. Where did they meet them? Down in the valley. You know what that is? The Valley of Megiddo, Armageddon. It's going to happen. They're going to go to war against him again. And are they going to win? No. 1 Kings 20 said that they lost again. Revelation said they're going to lose. Hallelujah. With 33 kings. Oh, look. United Nations, World Health Organization. With there's 1, 2, 3, 4 sections times 8, that's 32, plus the North Pole. See this right here, the UN's telling you the earth is indeed, yeah. That's the 33rd point, and this is the north. Notice that. Then the Lord said unto me, out of the north an evil shall break forth upon all the inhabitants of the land. That's what the UN logo stands for. So, on February the 2nd of this year, which is 02202020, novel coronavirus 33, World Health Organization. Online training on novel coronavirus disease. So, I was working on this presentation, and Saturday I got up and turned Fox News on, and I'm listening, and this particular story, for some reason they didn't show the heads of all, yeah they did, I just covered them up. They're interviewing a lady who actually caught the coronavirus. And she's all smiles, and she basically said, yeah, I got a little sick. Yeah, I got a little sick. Kind of achy for a couple days, ran a little fever. But I'm fine. I'm fine. Really, there's nothing wrong with me. And I'm just going, Lisa, I don't get it. Because can you ever remember a time, ever, where they shut down every school, every college, every sporting event, every convention, restaurants closed their eating areas? Can you ever remember a time like now? I don't. And this is worldwide. This not just happened in Smallville, Kansas. This is going on everywhere. And the question in a lot of people's minds is, number one, what's going on? Number two, why are they making this out to be so bad when it doesn't look like it's as bad as, my goodness, we had the Heine flu, H1N1. That's what it looks like when you write it out, Heine. We had the Heine flu, we had the swine flu, we had the MERS virus. And they killed tens, hundreds of thousands of people all over the world. This one, it's not. There have been more people died this season of the flu than there has of this. I mean, do you catch it easier? But I do think, realistically, that most everything in this world just got changed. Changed. It's different now. And it will remain different. Now, I've had people calling me, writing me, Pastor, this is it, isn't it? Because I'm reading stuff on the internet, and they're all saying, this is it. Now, let me say this, and I said this a lot. There are all kinds of barking dogs on the internet that bark at everything. Now, I've got 2 Shih Tzus at home. And the Shih Tzus were these dogs that these Chinese emperors and rich people would own because they were really good at waking up the big dogs. Shih Tzus are little dogs, but they're very sensitive. Oh, extremely sensitive. And the least, see, my dogs know. The 2 dogs in our house know if they hear me get up, they don't get too excited because they know I don't let them out. But they know the difference in the sound between me and my wife getting up. As soon as they hear my wife's feet touch the carpet, they start going nuts. Okay? They're very sensitive animals. And our dogs actually know the sound of us outside. Okay? They know the sound of us outside. But if it's anybody else outside, they go nuts. So that's what the little dogs were for. And you got all these people on the internet. And I've been very critical for years of this. Because number one, go to their websites and then count the number of ads that are on the page that they talked you into clicking on. Count the number. Because they just got money from every one of those guys. So somebody sent me an article by a guy who's got government insiders, unnamed government insiders, who are telling him tanks are fixing to roll out in the streets. And so I went to look at the article. Not only was it surrounded by ads, but he only gave you half of the article and said, if you want to read the rest of this, you have to pay me. Because I pay a cloud service for you to read it. I pay them. Listen, I pay cloud services. I pay Microsoft $11 a month. And I pay Dropbox, I think, $500 a year for 5 terabytes, which is a lot. And I don't charge a dime for anything that we put out. Not one dime. But this guy, in order for you to get to the main part of the article, the real stuff, you gotta flip him a coin before you can. I don't know how much it cost. But I'm just going, I get you. How many of these have you tricked people into going to on your website? Because everything that rolls around, you're going to tell everybody, this is it. We got to prepare. This is it. This is going to be it right here. Martial law, tanks in the streets, dead bodies laying everywhere. We're going to have to get our guns. You're going to have to buy gold and silver from me. Every one of them, same thing. They're barking dogs that bark at everything. Now, the responsibility of a watchman is to watch and sound the alarm when he sees the sword coming. But if he blows too many false alarms, what happens? When the real stuff comes, nobody's listening anyway. And some of you wonder why nobody in your family wants to talk to you about anything. Because you've sent them this stuff where everything was going to be the end of the world and none of it happened. And so the people that know you, they don't even read your emails anymore. And they're definitely not going to talk to you ever again about what's going on in the world. Because as soon as you start in, oh, here they goes again. Oh, my gosh. And they roll their eyes and, yeah. It's because somebody blew too many false alarms. So now when the real one gets blown, they're not going to listen. So I've just, forgive me for being cynical, but over the past 20 years, I've seen way too many people on the internet saying, this is it. We know for sure this is it. Then the next thing that rolls around, this definitely is it. Yeah. I mean, we were almost there last time, and God said, but then now this is it. So forgive my cynicism, but I've fallen for it before, and I just don't like doing that. But I get up Saturday, and I'm looking at, I see at least 33 states. Now, examine that, at least 33. What does that phrase itself tell you? That there are more than 33 states that have declared. But at the very least, 33 have. So that means the number 33 in this instance is not an accurate number. But it is the number that they used. So, and I almost just dismissed it. But then I thought, I'll get my camera out, get my phone out, and I'll take a picture of what I see on the TV screen. At least 33 states have declared states of emergency in response to coronavirus 33. See, I didn't know it was novel coronavirus 33 beforehand. I just thought that's an interesting number. Why'd they put it up there? So then I saw that. The Star. 10 new cases detected, all linked to case number 33. The health ministry has now detected 10 new COVID-19 cases, bringing the total number of cases in Malaysia to 93. The patients are being given further treatment, said Health Director General Datuk Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah. All the new cases are due to close contact with case number 33. 4 cases, 85, 86, 87, and 93 are the first-generation close contact with case number 33, he said. 6 new cases are second-generation close contact with case number 33. So apparently, most of the infections now of the coronavirus 33 stem from patient 33. Again, did the Illuminati call these people and say, there's somebody we want you to go by and get in close contact to? Now, they're going to give you a virus, but don't worry about it. But we need you to be in contact with this person for at least 5 minutes. Click. Honey, who was that? I don't know. We just got instructions by some weird guy on the phone to go. That didn't happen that way. Spirits. The only thing I can tell you is spirits. Spirits involved. Spirits moving people. Acting in coordination. 32 new coronavirus cases confirmed in Massachusetts. That could have written this article at any other time. It's not like Massachusetts only has 33 and we will never get any more cases. But they didn't say a total of, well, they did here, the state's nearly 200 cases. They didn't tell you that number in the headline. They told you this number. So again, they could have written this article at any time to where it would have said 40 new coronavirus cases confirmed. But they didn't. They wrote 33 new coronavirus cases confirmed in Massachusetts. Why? Well, I'm not done, because I ended up going through 20 Google search pages. Now, the number of times I've ever cycled through 20 Google search pages of the same search in all of my lifetime, I could probably count on one hand. I don't think I've ever looked at 20 Google search pages of the same search. Ever. Maybe I have. But I kept going until Google finally said, Mike, that's enough. Well, actually what it said was, we've determined that anything you see past this point is just going to be a regurgitation of the other ones you've already seen. But if you want to see more, we'll show them to you. But these are the most relevant ones. And what I did was I typed in coronavirus 33. You do your own. So let me go through these because it's going to take a while. 33 coronavirus cases now confirmed in North Carolina. That was March 16th. Number of Michigan coronavirus cases reaches 33. Coronavirus in South Carolina. Lexington patient among 5 new cases, bringing total to 33. Coronavirus disease COVID-19, coronavirus epidemic 33, or update 33. That was on March 9th. Michigan coronavirus or cases rise to 33. So let's stop right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 so far. Picking this exact number, 33. 7 headlines. picking this exact number to use in some way to give you that number 33. Again, they could have waited. That was on March 14th. They could have waited 2 days or before 2 days and given you a different number. But they waited until the number was 33. And again, I don't think whoever works for this website, the Sentinel staff, got a call from some Illuminati guy saying, stop at 33. Who was that? Do you know who called? Sacramento County reports second death due to coronavirus. Now 33 cases in county, officials say. That was March 16th. Update, active coronavirus cases in Wisconsin rises to 33. That was on the 15th. Coronavirus cases in Michigan climb to 33. That was on the 15th. 33 coronavirus cases now reported in Louisiana. That was on the 13th. And they're using the exact same logo. Exact same virus for the graphic for the virus. Michigan climbs to 33. Coronavirus is now reported in Louisiana at 33. 33 of 39 local coronavirus patients are county residents, officials say. That's in San Diego County. The number of San Diego County residents who have been tested positive for coronavirus reached 33 by Sunday. Reached 33. Now we can write the article. 39 patients in total have tested positive for the virus in San Diego since February 14th, health officials say. 33 of those patients were residents of San Diego County. Big deal. 16 new coronavirus cases confirmed in Colorado bring first sign of limited community spread. Total number of tests confirmed coronavirus cases in Colorado rises to 33. I'm not done. Venezuela to implement nationwide quarantine as coronavirus cases rise to 33. That was also on March 16th. So 33 in Venezuela, March 16th. Let's see, when was that? We don't have a date on it. This is the 15th, 33. The 13th, 33. 15th, 33. The 15th, 33. The 16th, 33. This one was the 14th, 33. All within about 3 days, everybody's hitting 33. That's where we left off. Coronavirus in Pennsylvania. New cases outside Lehigh Valley put state at 33. That was on March 13th. Huntsville Hospital says 33 patients being tested for COVID-19. That was on March 16th. 33 patients being tested. That's like saying at least 33 people in the state of Missouri don't have the coronavirus. Out of what in the state of Missouri? Was there like, 7-8 million people in the state of Missouri? At least 33 people in the state of Missouri don't have it. Okay, but why that number? Why'd you pick that number? 33 new cases announced for Thailand. Total rises to 147. Why? That was on March 16th. Why that number? I mean, if the Illuminati was calling, they would have to have like a whole support team making a lot of phone calls to a lot of newspapers. To me, it just doesn't add up. Unless There is a spirit that now worketh, a zeitgeist, the ghost of the present, the ghost that now worketh in people's minds. I'm not done. Death toll in France from coronavirus reaches 33. While the number of cases has risen to 1,784. Death toll in France now 33. 33 new coronavirus cases confirmed in Massachusetts. Nearly 200 total. So again, they have the total number, but they didn't tell you that up front. They didn't say, we've now reached 200. We have added 33 new. I mean, and you could say that at any day. You could start anywhere after the first patient is identified with it. After you get the 34th one in, you could say at any given point, we now have 33 new cases, right? Because the number is increasing. And so what is it that you're determining as new? Well, they picked the number 33 to represent the new cases. Again, on any given day, whoever reported this is the Boston Herald. So Harold Boston's his name. So Harold says, on any day, Harold could have said 50 new cases have been added, or 10 new cases, 9 newer than 10 cases. But it's 33 new coronavirus cases. 33 new coronavirus cases in Georgia, raised total to 99. And again, you can say that. That's on Sunday, March 15th. You can say that about any other number. You can say 10 new cases. You can say 12 new cases. You can even say 50 new cases. But they didn't. They said, and there's that graphic again. The virus ball. Coronavirus cases in New York State increases to 33. The governor. Well, he must be in. He's Cuomo, right? He's in the Illuminati. We know he is. Coronavirus update. 33 cases confirmed in Colorado. That was on March 11th. 3/11. What's 3 times 11? Yeah, you get it. Case has no recent history of international travel. A new case of the novel coronavirus in California was announced on Friday after Governor Gavin Newsom said Thursday that 33 people have tested positive for the virus. Had to look a little for that one, but it was there. New York coronavirus cases increased to 33. California Governor Gavin announced 33 people in California have tested positive. So that's a rehash. Watch in 60 seconds. 33 coronavirus cases in Bay Area. 33. 3 more coronavirus patients die. 33 new cases in King County. March 9th. See, you could, like every 5 days, you could report that exact same headline again. We now have 33 more new cases. And then 5 days later, we have 33 more new cases. Or you can say at least 33 more cases. However you do it, it's still the same number. Stop and Shop online orders surge 33% amid coronavirus anxiety. 33 tests negative for coronavirus in Georgia. Number of affected still stands at 15. 33 people in Georgia don't have it. At least 33 people in Georgia don't have it. That's basically what they're saying. Canada. Now at 33 confirmed cases of coronavirus after 3 more found in BC, which means before Christ. Yeah. 33 cases. 33 have tested positive. Number of coronavirus cases creeps up to 33 in Finland, March 10th. Algebra's office operating at 33% capacity amid coronavirus. It's an investment company, apparently. Coronavirus, another 7 test positive, total now 33. And that is the Republic of Cyprus, down there on the bottom. With 33 confirmed cases, Maharashtra has highest coronavirus cases in India. 33. I went through 20 Google search pages. Found them on every page. China locks down 33 million people in 10 cities to stop spread of... Really? They counted exactly 33 million people. Sir, no. You go back into the other group because we already have 33 million in this group here. Because we have to write this in the newspaper. Sir, get out of that group. Thank you. I don't think there was exactly 33 million people that they locked down. But that's what they said. That's Reuters on January 24th. Chinese doctors released chest scans of a 33-year-old coronavirus patient that show what the illness looks like in her lungs. That was February 5th. Coronavirus in Canada, latest timeline of 33 COVID-19 cases. March 3rd, 311. Or 3-3, actually. March 3rd is 3-3. Coronavirus, 33 guariti e 33 decessi in Liguria. Mamma mia! Madre Dios! Ecco il bilancio di oggi sull'emergenza sanitaria. Pardon my French. I think what this means is 33 guaranteed or confirmed deceased in Liguria. I think that's Italy. New Jersey coronavirus update, 33 cases in state. Bans on public gatherings. Widespread closures and cancellation schools. I don't get it. Coronavirus in Belgium, 33 persons need assistance, respiratory assistance. C'est que l'on se des personnes contaminées. That, pardon my French. First child in Pennsylvania diagnosed with coronavirus as state finds 33 cases. It's March 6th or March 13th. Coronavirus update, 33 confirmed cases in Jordan. Thailand reports 1 new case of coronavirus brings total to 33. February 11th. $33 confirmed. 33. Le nombre total de personnes contaminées sur le département de l'Indre est épargné pour le moment. Whatever that means. This is from Physicians Weekly. Cambodia reports 21 new cases of coronavirus, bringing total to 33. And that was March 17th. 33 cases of coronavirus are confirmed on the island of Ireland. March 9th. Coronavirus. Only 1 in 33 infections are reported as COVID-19 expert warns of hidden figure. Only 1 in 33 infections are reported. I mean, I had to chuckle at this. I'm just going, well, that's an interesting way of putting it. How many do we have? Well, we have 71 cases. Well, we'll make it say 1 in 33 then. Egypt confirms 33 new cases of coronavirus on Nile cruise ship. Oh, you got to feel sorry for these people on cruise ship. Oh, good. I've been on cruise ships before, and I mean, I will say, on every cruise ship, I've been on 3 cruises, and on all 3, before you go into the big main buffet that everybody eats at, there's women standing there telling you, washy your hands, and they'll squirt your hands down if you want and sanitize your hands as you walk in. Great practice, because you're on a confined boat where everybody's packed together like sardines, and if somebody gets diarrhea, everybody's getting diarrhea. So you got to feel sorry for these people on cruise ships. I'm glad I wasn't on one. Coronavirus, 2 more confirmed cases in Punjab. Number rises to 33. March 7th. 33 days in coronavirus COVID-19 quarantine. Carl Goldman continues Chronicles, part 24. 33 days in quarantine. In most Western countries, case numbers have been increasing by about 33% a day. Coronavirus, 33 potential in Quebec. Amazing Race, 33 stops racing, sends teams home because of coronavirus. 33rd series of Amazing Race, I guess. I don't know. Why did they call it Amazing Race 33? They had to stop because of the virus. Lululemon forced to close 33 stores in China due to coronavirus. Canadian company of athletic apparel has released a statement disclosing the closure of 33 stores in China. 3 more novel coronavirus cases. Remember, novel coronavirus 33. Now 33 people infected in Canada. March 3rd, 33. Coronavirus, 33 suspected cases, all test negative. GHS boss, Government Health Services. Coronavirus, 3 new Singapore cases include Victoria JC teacher. The National Center for Infectious Diseases at Tan Tock Seng Hospital, Singapore, has 33 confirmed cases now. They're at the bottom. Singapore raises alert level as corona cases jump to 33. Apocalypse now! Bill Gates predicted how coronavirus-like pandemic could spread, saying 33 million may die in first 6 months. Wait a minute. But it says down here 31 million on month 6. So you go to the Wikipedia article on this 2019-2020 coronavirus pandemic, and it says, first emerging in Hubei, China in mid-November, according to the Chinese government. The global outbreak was characterized as a pandemic by the World Health Organization on March 11th. Bum, bum, bum. 311. 3 times 11. It's 33. So let's back up here. Let's back up. Let's count. So I went through about 20 Google pages with a search of, and I think a couple of them were repetitives because it's hard to keep track. After a while, I'm just going, really? So let's look at the number of similarities here that we found. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. You thought it was going to be 32, didn't you? Or 3. 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63. So, you're walking down the sidewalk and you see a penny on the sidewalk. And you bend down and pick it up, and you put it in your pocket, and you say, somebody dropped a penny. And then you take 10 more steps, and you look down, and there's another penny. And you say, you got it in your mind that somebody's, pulling stuff out of their pocket looking for their keys, and they just happen to drop 2 pennies. Or 2 different people dropped a penny on the sidewalk. And nobody's bothered to pick them up. No, there's no telling how long they've been there. So you take 10 more steps, and you see another penny. Now your thinking's changed. See how it just took 3 pennies. Now you're going 3 pennies every 10 steps. Is that random? You walk 10 more steps, you look, there's another penny. Now you start looking around to see if anybody's looking at you, laughing, or if there's a camera somewhere. So you walk down 10 more steps, there's another penny. Now you've picked up 5 pennies, 10 paces apart, and you don't think that's an accident anymore, do you? Because you walk 10 more paces, there's another penny. And you can practically close your eyes now. Take 10 more paces, and there's another penny. 10 more paces, another penny. 10 more paces, and you do this 60 times. And no one in their right mind would ever say it's just a fluke, an accident. What is it if you see a turtle sitting on top of a fence post? You can reasonably assume that he didn't get there on his own. So if you see a penny on the sidewalk every 10 paces and you pick up 60 of them, You don't say, boy, somebody's having a lot of bad luck today. They keep dropping pennies out of their pocket exactly 10 feet apart. You don't do that. It leaves you wondering, number one, was I supposed to pick those up? Or these somebody in the street department laid these down for markers because they're going to tear the sidewalk up and they were measuring them? Or was I on candid camera or what? But you know that it was deliberate, because accidents don't happen in perfect order. Not 60 times in a row, they don't. So, do I know why this number keeps popping up? No, I don't. But I know it's got to have a reason. Now, again, they're telling us that everything's changed. I mean, seriously, I don't know that we really understand yet how far this is going to extend. How long are restaurants going to be closed? How long are the schools going to be closed? How long will they be telling us not to go to church or gather in groups over 10? President said 15 days. I don't suspect the president. I really don't. I don't suspect the president of doing anything malicious here. He's got so many people that hate his guts in Washington, D.C. He's a very proactive president. I will say that. He doesn't just sit and play golf like Obama and Clinton and Bush did while everybody dies around him. He actually works on things. Okay? He's a smart guy. He knows the stock market is very volatile, especially at times like this. And so he knows if he can get out ahead of things and cause a little discomfort now with people, that it will actually be better. Telling everybody to stay away from each other for the next 15 days is not tantamount to martial law. It isn't. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. I told my daughters, stay home this week. Stay home. So if you call here this week, nobody answers the phone. Number one, it doesn't ring up here. I got a phone here. People can transfer calls up here, but this phone doesn't ring. It doesn't do it for a reason. Why? Because this is a recording studio, and I can have the phone ringing all day long. So if you call here, there's nobody here. Because I told them, stay home. 2 of my daughters are pregnant. One of them's going to deliver next week. I don't want my daughters getting sick. I don't want their kids getting sick. I don't want them to have it, spread it to some of the older people in our church who may die from it, because that is a realistic scenario. Very realistic. So that part I get. But I'm going to be honest with you. I have never in my life seen anything like this before. Never. I mean, if the last time I can remember schools being closed down for 2 weeks was in 1982 when we had our world famous blizzard in St. Louis in 1992. We got 24 inches of snow in about 2 days. I mean, it shut everything down up here we were out of school for about 2 weeks. I was tickled to death. But other than that, I've never seen anything close schools down for 2 weeks here, and they're shut down. Restaurants, you can't sit inside a restaurant now and eat. Everything's gone at Walmart. everything except toys and makeup. But all the food we'd eat, that's gone. I've never seen anything like that, ever. Usually, before there's snow here, there's a run on milk, bread, and eggs. Well, it's far worse than that now. Far worse. Luxury items are, who can eat those? But necessities, they're gone. Never seen that before. Welcome to a new world, people. Now, again, let not your hearts be filled with fear, except it do what a guy who messaged me the other day. He said, Pastor, he said, I'm going to be honest with you. He said, I follow your teaching, I love you. But he said, I've kind of gotten away from the Lord. He said, I've been chasing women like crazy. And he said, this thing's got me scared to death. And I said, good. Maybe that's just what this country needs, is for God to scare a bunch of people to death. I've said this before. Hunger and fear are great motivators. Hunger motivated the prodigal son to turn around and go home. Swallow his pride. And I'm not even sure after a while that it was pride. May have been pride at first when he's got a pocket full of money. I ain't going back home to that old man. And then when he runs out of money and he can't find a job, he's not ready to go home then either because he's not hungry enough. But when he's sitting there smelling the nasty corruption, if you've ever been around hogs, it's awful. It is an awful smell. And what goes in the front side of the hog smells almost as bad as what comes out of the back side of the hog. Not a whole lot of difference that goes through a hog. When you get that hungry, you'll come to yourself and say, my father's slaves have it better than I have it right now. And I think that's what I'm going to go do. I know I can't be his son because I've shamed him too bad, but I can be one of my father's servants. They've got a bed to sleep in, food to eat. My dad took care of his servants. I'll go back and be one of them. And maybe, just maybe, this will have the effect of waking some people up in this country who've been far too sinful, far too rebellious, far too wicked. Maybe this will start to wake them up. Jeremiah 33:3. Call unto me, and I will answer thee, and show thee great and mighty things that thou knowest not. So whatever questions you have, you ask God. Wait for him to answer. If he loves you, he will. He'll show you things out of the Bible you never saw before. He'll open your eyes to that. That's the kind of God we have. He's a very merciful God. Notice that he hasn't just come down with wrath yet. Somebody asked me, they heard somebody say this was the start of the tribulation, and I'm going, this is not the tribulation. This ain't bad. It's going to get a lot worse. But maybe right now God doesn't have to allow it to get that bad before people start waking up. Maybe it can happen now. That's what I'm hoping for. Okay? Now, my experience tells me whenever you see this many coincidences, it's not a coincidence. But I can't quite yet say, I know what this is, I know what's going to happen. I don't have that. If I have it, you will be the first to know. Because you know I don't keep my mouth shut. I love you. You're the reason why I do what I do. Pray for us. Keep us in your prayers. Even with the lack that we have here. And you know, the shame of it is, in America, when people buy that much food, when this thing dies down, that food's gonna go to waste. You know, that's the sad part of it. All that stuff is gonna sit in the freezers and freezer rot. That's America. Remember to pray for those that will feed in Kenya, who never have enough food to sit around to rot. Okay? Remember to pray for them. Pray for one and pray for your family members to be saved. And if they reach out to you, tell them the truth from the Word of